It's now weeks before Christmas and you're shopping for others, but there's no need to stress because there's Solomon Brothers. Whether for mom or dad, your husband or wife, you'll find the right gift for the love of your life. Now let me tell you why it's worth the drive. We have 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for just $9.95. Rings and bracelets, watches and more, all waiting for you. Just visit a store. There's no gift like jewelry at just the right price. So shop at Solomon Brothers and you'll find something nice. In Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Peachtree City, online at SolomonBrothers.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
To Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. Did our intro not work, or was it just me?
No, it worked on my end.
It didn't work on my end, but welcome, guys, Alibiers, to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. What you know?
Well, I know this, and my friend Brienne just wrangled a snake over here. So this thing right here is for all you snake people. A snake skeleton has 600 to 1,800 bones, depending on the species. So they all have 10 bones in the skull and jaw, but the ribs and vertebrae vary widely. Bigger and longer snakes have way more in comparison.
Oh my goodness. No. I don't do them things.
Yeah, that thing was a racer. It was.
Well, why didn't she let it race away?
Well, she did eventually. We put it over in the thing, but we were just keeping it out of the around the house. Just put it across the street. Low show.
Well, no doubt. Just want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts. You can go to toocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. Check them out. We appreciate their support. We also want to say thank you to Sharon for the PayPal donation.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yes, we really, really appreciate that. I'm so glad it's Friday.
Yes.
So I'm really excited. This Sunday, you know how my Aunt Angie loved Elvis, right? She loved Elvis. So, in fact, on her memorial video, I had a Elvis song. And so this Sunday, all of us nieces and nephews, great nieces, great nephews, and my uncle, which is her husband, we're all going together to see Elvis, the movie. I'm so excited.
Sweet. That'll be cool.
And we're going to one of her favorite restaurants in Easley to eat, because we go there now because they have the recliner seats.
I love that theater. When my foot and all, we went one night, and I was like, yes.
And you get free refills on the popcorn that you get to like do yourself. It's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't even get paid for that, y'all. So, anyways, we're gonna pick up in 2008. Now, where we left off, we had kind of went through, and I want to clarify one thing. Keith Tamaguchi. We don't think that is the lawyer that Joe lived with. It was actually, if you remember, in late 2007, Joe got another lawyer. So I just wanted to make sure we corrected that real quick. But we kind of went through his opinion about the missing kids case that, eventually came long after Joe was dead. So we're in 2008 now, and this is kind of when the big recession happens in the United States. And Chad posts on his blog that he predicted it, but the end times are still several years away. He said one of the main parts of the book that he wrote says the government will encourage human microchip implants. So, also in 2008, we talked about this on a previous episode. Tammy and Chad had filed for bankruptcy that year. So a lot of our listeners may not know this, but September 17th, 2008, Melanese graduated from the Air Force. Do you remember way back we found that article?
Yeah, there was actually some photos of her in boot camp or something.
Yeah, and also some pictures of her and Brandon, I guess, when she had like a family weekend or something. They weren't married at this point, but
Maybe graduation day, maybe.
You could be, but an article in the Utah Daily Herald said Air Force Reserve Airman Melanie L. Cope has graduated from basic military training at Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio, Texas. During the 6 weeks of training, the airmen received physical training, rifle marksmanship, field training exercises, and special training in human relation. Cope is the daughter of Steve Cope of Edgewood, Washington, and granddaughter of Kathleen Cope. I thought it was interesting that they didn't put in there that Stacy was her mother, even though her mom was dead at that point still.
Yeah.
So what happens in 2008 right after she graduates?
So she marries Brandon Boudreaux.
Little cutie pie. He got remarried to a really beautiful woman.
He seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah. He seems like such a sweet dude.
Yep. So August 2008, 2009, Chad works as a part-time cemetery maintenance worker in Springfield, Utah. 2009 is when Lori is found in civil contempt of 7 charges related to custody issues. I think we touched on a little bit of that last night.
Yeah, and sometimes I kind of threw in things we had already discussed, but when you kind of know the backstory, it fits in a little better of what was going on with certain people. So
Yep. So February 1st, 2009, Chad gets a job as a cemetery sexton in Spanish Fork City. Due to the recession not being kind to his book company. 2010, Chad and Tammy's bankruptcy is over. They had $203,000 in debt forgiven.
You think about it, it really seems like Tammy was the breadwinner the whole time of the marriage. I mean, you got Chad digging graves and stuff, but he's, doing his book company. It seems like she was the one that had to go do the 9 to 5.
I was going to say, it seems like she had the more stable job of income coming in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So is that you or me? I don't forgot.
So in 2011, Lori establishes her iCloud account, her main one that will come into play much later in the case. That's that Lori for Style, I believe. And so investigators more recently, when they had access to this, they noticed on that iCloud account that the photos show a young, really young JJ and Tylee, photos of her and Charles, family events such as birthdays, vacations, and milestones. Tylee was listed as my favorite under her contacts. Investigators say there were texts about problems in the marriage, but nothing at all that indicated it was abusive or even out of control. Just your normal, everyday back and forth, I guess. So still kind of in present time, investigators also note that there seemed to be no issues between Lori and Tylee and no indication Lori talked to Tylee about her religious beliefs, at least, through electronic means. They also say it seemed Tylee was left to care for JJ a lot while Lori was either in Idaho or Houston, which we've heard before.
Yep.
So June 30th, 2011, Lori was scheduled. What did I say?
June.
July. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, I was just correcting you because one of our good listeners.
Oh yeah, they'll hop on it, and we love them for that. Because dude, we're not afraid to say we're wrong.
Keep us honest.
Yes. So July 30th, 2011, Lori was scheduled for a court-ordered psychiatric evaluation, which was related to Charles's custody case with his ex-wife. But she calls and cancels, saying that her sister in another state had given birth to a baby who had medical complications and asked that her appointment be changed to October 4th. So what happens?
So July 31st, 2011, a psychologist calls Lori to schedule her for an earlier evaluation since there's a concern she is a flight risk. So then on August 1st, Lori has her psych evaluation. September 23rd, 2011, Chad claims that Tammy's deceased grandmother visited him and told him Tammy needed to stop playing the game Frontierville. I remember this in the book. And get back to work on genealogy and temple work. Chad typed up the message and gave it to Tammy and her parents to read that day.
Look, I would have divorced the guy for doing stuff like that.
What the world?
Dude,
he's not writing fortune cookies or something?
Listen, she probably just avoiding the dude at that point. She just harvested her crops and all that stuff. And he's saying, your dead grandma says, nope.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what game it was, but I played that game for a little bit. It was kind of cool. You
Farmville.
Dug up your own Farmville is what I played, yeah.
Dude, don't make me get back on that. But I remember like you would message me, Fruit Loop needs seeds. I'm like, I got you, girl. Fruit Loop needs water.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
So December 15th, 2011, Alex completes that probation and all charges against him were dismissed. This came in later because one of Charles's sons, after his murder, emailed investigators wanting to know if Alex was able to legally carry a firearm being a convicted felon. And because they expunged the record after he completed that probation, he was allowed to legally carry a firearm. Scary enough.
I say crazy, but
yeah. May 25th, we're jumping ahead to 2012. JJ is born. Little dude was a preemie and he weighed 2 pounds and 14 ounces. He was in the hospital for a little while.
Yeah, those pictures of him when he's little are so cute.
But even as a preemie, you still see that little face that becomes big JJ. He was precious.
Yep.
So also in May of 2012, Chad begins to publish Mormon doctrine stories. Suzanne Freeman, don't even get me tickled, Fruit Loop. Suzanne Freeman told Nate Eatan of East Idaho News in an interview they did that she didn't want her name associated with him after this. She said he wanted to take LDS stuff out of her books. And he told her around 2012 that he wasn't going to publish any more books because the call out was going to happen. So I looked up what's a call out. And it's by the prophets to LDS who have food storage and a temple recommend to go to the church's girl camps before any tribulations and invasions. After that, when the call out didn't happen, he published some more books.
Yeah, I think that was one of the times they claimed it was going to be in Idaho or whatever. Yeah. Yep. That's where they thought it was going to take place. So
yeah. There was something about Missouri too, because Lori goes there. But so 2013, Charles and Lori began the adoption process for JJ. He went to live with them with Charles and Lori when he was around 9 months old.
So May of 2013, Chad works at Springville Cemetery as a sexton, and Tammy is a secretary at the high school in Springville. Is it Springville or Springerville? Springville.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I just said it was.
It could be two different places. I don't know.
It could be.
Who knows? All right. So sometime in 2014, Chad meets Julie Rowe on the AVAL message board. That had a lot of info on it, didn't it?
Yeah. Remember, we found that early on too.
Yeah. Yep. He published her book about her 2004 near-death experience. Julie became close with Chad and Tammy and was a regular visitor at their home in Rexburg for 3 years. She said when they started working together, they talked on the phone almost daily, and they would talk about and compare their visions and what they saw happening in the future. She said Chad once told her about an out-of-body experience that he had. His spirit came out of his body. His kids were there. His wife was there to witness it, and he was completely outside of his body in his house for a few minutes, and then he got back in. And after that experience, she said she started noticing some changes in him, and he started talking to her about past lives.
Yep. So Julie also said 3 weeks or so before Tammy is murdered that Chad said to her that his plans could not progress until Tammy is dead or has died. She couldn't remember exactly how he worded it. And she said that bothered her, and she actually talked to her husband about it. And she said she was concerned.
Here's the deal. I mean, he makes that comment to her, and we don't know. Maybe they'll call her as a witness. But she's still a little...
Can you imagine those conversations between the two of them about their visions and what they saw in the future? I'd love to be a fly on the wall. But before we go any further, let's give a shout out to one of our paid sponsors this week.
Our next partner has a product that I use literally every day. I started taking AG1 because I wanted a daily health routine. I've been on it now for about 3 weeks, and really the taste, it's fruity. Like it's almost like a tropical taste.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No. And again, I mix it with smoothies. I make smoothies with it, and it's really good.
Yeah, I thought it was going to taste bitter and green, but it doesn't. So what is in this stuff? Just 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. There is a special blend of ingredients that supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging. And we've already actually, in our YouTube comments, we've had some listeners that have taken advantage of our code.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, and it still tastes good. It supports better sleep quality and recovery, and it supports mental clarity and alertness, which I need.
Yes, clearly me too, because I thought it read July, and it was June or back. See, exactly. So Athletic Greens is a climate neutral certified company, which is really cool. And in 2020, AG purchased carbon credits that support projects protecting old growth rainforests, which is super important. For every purchase, they also donate to organizations helping to get nutritious food to kids in need, including the No Kid Hungry here in the United States. And in fact, in 2020, AG donated over 1.2 million meals to kids in that year, which is just amazing.
Awesome. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/whattheworld. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/whattheworld to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Let's go. What the world? Go get your Athletic
some
Greens.
AG1.
Yes.
Son and daughter. All right. So
my brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. You could do a classic herb-roasted turkey or spice it up and make turkey tacos. Serve up a go-to shrimp cocktail or use Simple Truth wild-caught shrimp for your first Cajun risotto. Make creamy mac and cheese or a spinach artichoke fondue from our selection of Murray's cheese. No matter how you shop, Kroger has all the freshest ingredients to embrace all your holiday traditions. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We're going to jump to June 12th, 2014. Lori emails Joe Ryan and says they're moving to Hawaii because Charles had gotten a job there. And she said they would be gone from Arizona by August the 1st of 2014. And she wanted to talk to him about how to handle the move regarding Tylee. And she gave him 2 options. Number 1, for Tylee to move to Hawaii and visit with Joe. Or number 2, Tylee stay in Arizona with him and visit them in Hawaii, which kind of now explains when we said on the last episode that at some point she was ordered to stay in Arizona with Joe to finish out that school year.
Yep.
So Joe responds and said that Charles should be the one to move to Hawaii and that Lori and Tylee come to Texas and they go visit Charles. He said he just didn't agree to the move and that she would need a court order.
I mean, it's his kid, so
yeah. But I think it seemed like she moved from. That's one thing I might like post and ask Annie Cushing is, did she finish out that school year with Joe? Mainly because I hope she had some quality time with him.
Yeah,
without her mom, like her mom being far away in Hawaii.
Yeah, I haven't seen any photos like that around though.
That's what I was, the other thing is like, did she have any regular contact with him, as a teenager shortly before he died? Like I said, we've never seen anything. So July 25th, 2014 is the date that JJ was officially adopted by Charles and Lori. So we jump to August 2014. What happens, Fruit Loop?
So Chad's mom rented a cabin in Island Park, Idaho for a family get-together. Chad says he was at a gas station in St. Anthony, which is about 15 minutes from Rexburg. As he is filling his van with gas, he looked south over the valley, and a voice said, "You will live here soon." After the vacation, Chad went to the temple in Provo to get confirmation. He said he did, but was left in the dark about the timing. Dude, that's probably somebody pumping gas on the other tank over there.
I know, right? Talking to somebody in the car.
Yeah. You will live here soon.
I mean, seriously, if I heard people talking to me like that.
Yeah. So August 28, 2014, Joe's court order to pay child support is terminated. August 2014, Chad leaves his job as Springville Cemetery sexton.
Wait. You said August is October, so we're even now. 1 for 1. We both did
looky there. Happy doggone. At least yours started with a J.
Yeah, so the end of 2014 to 2015 is when Charles and Lori, and we assume Tylee, and I think Colby, and JJ, they moved to Kauai. Moved to Hawaii. And December 8th, 2014, I found online that they registered a mobile juice bar called Juice Island Hawaii LLC. And they moved after Colby graduated. And Lori worked at the church, and she was actually a youth leader. I've seen a picture of her with some of the teenagers. I don't like, I need to blur faces out. I don't want, even if they're adults now, I don't want to post picture of kids, but that's where she met April Raymond, who also had been divorced. And that's kind of, I guess, a rare thing in the Mormon faith is to divorce. So they bonded over that. And April told Dateline that Lori was really fun to be around, positive, full of energy, full of life. And she said that Lori kind of enveloped her and her boys really quickly into her life. So another friend who anonymously spoke to Justin Lum from Fox 10 Phoenix said she was 100% into the end times, the end of the world. And she would tell me, no, you really got to start preparing for the end of the world. You got to start getting your stuff together. And she would order things all the time. And she would tell this person that she needed to read all these books, I guess, that were Chad's. And she actually was buying them and giving them to this woman. But Lori would say things to her like, I'm never going to get divorced again. I'm on my 4th husband. And then she would say, you got to get rid of your husband. We'll just go off and do our own thing. Now, we're starting to hear something familiar here in this next part. She also told this woman that, as we know, she's told other people, it's going to be the end of the world and we should all just drive off a cliff and kill us and our kids and die at the same time.
Yeah. So we see that happen a lot.
Yeah.
Are we stopping here or are we going to keep going?
I think if we finish out this next page, that's going to be kind of where we.
Gotcha. Sounds good. So another friend who wanted to remain anonymous told Justin Lum she watched as Lori became obsessed with Chad's books. She said Lori would fly Tylee's friend to Hawaii and said she was Mother of the Year here. Lori told Melanie Gibb that Tylee turned into a zombie sometime in 2014, 2015. She told Melanie Gibb this in the 2019, according to the interviews with the police. That's what Melanie Gibb said.
Yeah, and she kind of elaborated on that and said Tylee had become difficult to work with. Well, Tylee was turning into a teenager.
All teenagers are difficult to work
Welcome to the pain of every parent of a teenager. So 2015, David Warwick, who we know was with Melanie Gibb, they got married. I think they're not married anymore. He said in his testimony at Chad's preliminary hearing that he met Chad back in 2015. So it seems like he's the one that met Chad kind of first. And at some point in 2015, Colby moves back to Arizona from Hawaii on his own, just wanted to do his own thing. So I think this is probably a good place to start because where we're going to pick up and we're going to integrate these into the timeline are Chad's blog posts, which we said last episode gives a big insight into his thought process and his, I guess, his self-glorifying, my veil's torn, whatever.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them are kind of in a row because you can tell when he started that website that day, he posted like 5 or 6. Then they kind of spread out a little bit. But also, if you haven't heard yet, they released the contents of Brian Laundrie's notebook today. At least the part where it's 8 pages long. You know those little pocket notebooks, Fruit Loop, and you can get them in the camp store, and they don't, if they get
his
wet.
is definitely out of the hiking area because you could tell it got wet, but it's still legible. So
right. So I really quickly typed it out. There were some parts that were a little hard to decipher. The elements had gotten to them. Spoiler alert, he says that Gabby got hurt and he put her out of her misery because she was begging him to. I'm still just really speechless. But we have a really quick 6-minute episode just reading that out for those of you that don't have social media. So check it out on our YouTube and wherever you listen. And please
just
subscribe.
Remember, that's his version.
Right. No,
one side,
Well, listen, Brian Eatan tweeted out in 3 tweets. He completely debunked what Brian said in that letter, which is he could, she fell in the creek and it was too far to carry her and all this. And Brian Eatan said, I've been there. There's excellent cell service and the creek's right next to where the van was. So he could have just put her in the car. So, nice try, Brian, but you were slimy to the end, dude.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll be back Monday with an all new episode. We're going to keep going on this series until anything major happens in the other cases we're following. But till then, have a really good weekend and we will see you sooner than later.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional roasted turkey or spicy turkey tacos, your go-to shrimp cocktail, or your first Cajun risotto, Kroger has all the freshest ingredients to embrace your traditions. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional roasted turkey or spicy turkey tacos, your go-to shrimp cocktail, or your first Cajun risotto, Kroger has all the freshest ingredients to embrace your traditions. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Choose from a great selection of digital coupons and use them up to 5 times in one transaction. Check our app for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.